Today we will be learning about a Japanese charting system called Ichimoku Cloud. We are using Trendsetter Software's Hotline X to demonstrate the system. It is also available in Personal Hotline for those that do not need real-time streaming charts. Let's bring up a daily chart here and add the cloud to it. In my 40 plus years of analyzing charts, the Ichimoku cloud is one of the most unique and interesting indicators I've encountered. To be useful, most technical tools need to be used in tandem with others to reduce the number of bad signals. The cloud provides enough information about the past, present, and future to be useful by itself. While complex looking, it is easy to understand and use. I'm going to flip through here. You can see Apple, Adobe, Amazon. Let's take a look at this. This is Alcoa, and as you can see, Alcoa has been in a uptrend for almost a year now. Let's tighten this up just a little bit. In fact, this is in terms of the cloud, this is exactly where the uptrend started, was in October of 2013. Let's begin with a little history. This charting system was developed by a Japanese journalist after World War II. Since this was pre-computers, he hired students to do today's equivalent of backtesting. In 1968, after 20 years of testing and developing a system, Mr. Hosoda published his results and the final system in a book. The system was popular in Japan immediately and has been for decades, but only recently became popular with traders and investors in the rest of the world. Let's take a look at the major components of this system and how they're derived. This blue line that you see running through the prices, what looks to be a moving average, is the midpoint of the highest high and the lowest low achieved in the past 9 periods. Similarly, the red line that also runs through the prices is the same calculation, only done over 26 periods. So we have a 9-period line and a 26-period line. These are finding the midpoint of the highest high and the lowest low achieved in the last 9 periods. The blue line is called the Tenkan Sen. In English, we would call that the conversion line. And the red line is called the Kijin Sen, which we'll call the baseline. For those of you who actually speak Japanese, my apologies if I'm mispronouncing these words. The cloud itself is the area formed by these 2 lines. The green line here is called the Senko span A, and it is the midpoint between the conversion line and the baseline, and then that number is projected 26 periods into the future. That's how we end up with the line going beyond the current prices. The red line goes back to the same formula of looking for the highest high and the lowest low, but it is over the period of 52 periods, and it once again is projected 26 periods into the future. So this is the Senko span A and the Senko span B line. Senko in Japanese, I'm told, is synonymous with future. So one of the major benefits of this indicator is how easy it is to identify trend. As long as prices are above the cloud, we are in an uptrend. And of course, prices below the cloud would mean we were in a downtrend. When the Senko span B line crosses above the A line, as might possibly happen in the near future here, the cloud is represented then in red as the downtrend is dominant and strong. When the Senko span A line is above the span B line, in other words, this green line is above the red line, then the cloud is green. So at a single glance, you can see whether we're in uptrend or downtrend, how strong that trend is, etc. Meanwhile, back here at the conversion and baselines, they provide support and resistance. As you can see, going back here, for example, we touched on the baseline multiple times here as we continue to ride up. Let's take a look at this on an intraday chart. This is a 15-minute chart. The daily chart we were just looking at, this one back here, each bar or in this chart represents 1 day's activity. If we take a look at the 15-minute chart, what's going on here then is that each bar in this chart represents 15 minutes of activity, and these vertical dashed lines represent the separation of trading days. So this is today's activity, then the previous day, etc. Let's go ahead and put the cloud on this one as well. And you can see that in the short term, we've had a downtrend going on in Alcoa. And if we go back to the daily chart, you can see most recently prices have receded to the cloud. Now, they found support there so far, but if they were to continue to go down, this red line would go up, the cloud itself would eventually turn red, and we would reverse and go into a downtrend. For those of you who are familiar with Western concepts, we already have a pretty solid double top here. And it's looking at this moment like Alcoa is going to turn around. And that is the Ichimoku cloud.